5 tips. Number 1, find out what you're good at first. Like, love music. That's number 1 tip. Just love music. Number 2, figure out what skills that you need to learn first. If you know, like, the basic music theory knowledge. The 3rd tip I was going to give, talking to other people. Surrounding yourself with other musicians, surrounding yourself who also love music and also like to talk music theory. 4th one, investing in yourself. And number 5 is believing in yourself. The only failure you will have is when you give up. Sometimes I'm very lazy, sometimes I get unproductive, sometimes I'm very unmotivated. But if I write it down,
at the Logic versus FL Studio, the pros and cons for each DAW. This can be a hard debating topic.
I asked the birthday celebrant, this little 13-year-old boy, he's like, what kind of music do you want me to play? And he's like, oh, let me list it down for you. And he was listing down all the Australian hip-hop drill rappers and hip-hop. It was like, I didn't know too much of it. I was so confused. Like, don't these like songs swear? Don't these like support like gang violence?
And their parents is like at the back and drinking.
Their parents is like just like, oh yeah, they're looking to have a good time. Yeah, just like.
Oh la la, how are you doing? I'm your cyber roommate Neo1stan. I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm a music producer, love movies, coffees, and cooking as well. So yeah, we just share this lovely little place together. And that's some books. Sometimes we share books too. I love to talk to people, so we share ideas with amazing people around me. Some artists, some musicians, and some scientists maybe one day, yeah? So let's get started! In this video, we covered highlights of the interview I did with Riddo in 2020 and 2021, which we talk a lot about his life story, his music, and also answer a lot of questions with puzzling all the startup indie musicians like you. Alright, the questions included how to cut through all the noises as independent musician, so put yourself there and get noticed, get traction, get numbers. So what do you need to do as an indie musician? How to manage your time as an emerging artist, and how to encounter COVID situation as an artist. And we also did comparison for Logic and FL Studio, the two DAW. My man Riddo is an independent singer-songwriter and an electronic pop producer based in Calville, Sydney, Australia, who just graduated from Australia Institute of Music, where I am studying right now. Aim people, right? Since pursuing music in 2017, Riddo approaches his songs with the motives of expressing his own experiences in philosophies, fantasy, and love. Ever since his lo-fi album This Doesn't Mean Anything in 2018, Riddo's project continued to grow year by year as listeners discover new musical territories through his innovative approaches to electronic music. Riddo, you're born in Australia, right?
Yeah, I was born in Australia.
Yeah. Can you please tell us about your life story? Yeah.
So, well, basically,
yeah.
a long ago. No, I was born in Australia. I'm Filipino. My mom and dad are Filipino, so I'm full Filipino, just Australian citizen. My mom is a singer. So that's where I get my music side, and my dad's a basketball coach. That's where I get my basketball side, and I have 2 siblings. Sister is still in school, and then brother is also doing basketball. So my brother is here with us at the moment because Corona.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad he's here. Yeah, but yeah, so that's me.
Cool. Looks like you have a really fun family to grow up with. Right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So my mom like basically taught me like a lot of music stuff. Oh, not really a lot, but more of like the singing and performance, especially. My dad taught me like he was my coach since I started playing basketball at the age of 10 or something.
Wow.
Like 10 or 11, yeah. So they're very supportive of what I do, or they're just like guiding me with all the things that I love doing, which I'm so happy and grateful for. You know, I did go to school here, primary school. I went to Bowman Hills Public School, and then high school went to Kellerville High School. Very, very small schools. I'm very local. I'm a local person. Very suburban. um, Suburban, if that is even a word.
It's okay. I don't even know if it's the word. If you lie to me, or if you invent something.
I'm from the suburbs, basically. But yeah, I have a lot of family here actually. Cousins.
Yeah,
I have
very
a
big
lot of
family,
cousins.
yeah.
Very, very big family. My dad is the youngest of 10, and then like 5 of them are here in Australia, and 5 of them are still in like Philippines. It's
I
a
feel
big
like
family. Have like cousins.
Chinese and the Philippines and the Italian share a similar thing, which is the big family.
Big family.
Big food.
Yeah, like even I don't even know like all of it. Like I would just probably be like, "Oh, who are you?" You're like, "Oh yeah, you're the brother of."
All right.
You know.
That's why sometimes when we're talking, I can imagine in your wedding. There'll be a lot of people,
Yeah.
probably someone
Like,
you don't really know.
yeah, it's like, who did I invite? Who is this? I was with you when you were a baby. Don't you remember? Oh, not really.
Oh, I can already feel there's a lot of love and support from your family.
Yeah,
Grew up really happy.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Talking about your family and how you grew up, and also you mentioned your basketball, obviously, which gonna move to our next topic. Can you share with us your basketball side of story? I heard that you start to play basketball with your dad, right?
Yeah. Well, I started getting more interested in basketball in year 5. I tried out for my school's team, and then my dad was like, "Whoa, I didn't know you were into basketball." He didn't really like force me to play basketball. He was just surprised that I was interested in the sport. So I played it, and he's like, "Okay, fine. If you want to do basketball, then like I'll teach you. I'll make you join like clubs and join competitions." I joined like the Hills Hornets in Casa Hill. There's a club there where I played like every single year. There's competitions. I represented Casa Hill, and that's where I kind of like grew my basketball, and I was getting really tall at my teenage years. That's how I got like I'm 6'3" at the moment, and I stopped growing when I was 16.
Wow.
So basically, my height was like a really good kind of asset to a basketball team, and that's how I got like recruited to the high school Philippine team. Not Philippine team. Well, there was a school called Ateneo de Cebu. We're from a place called Cebu in the Philippines, and I got recruited from a coach in Ateneo de Cebu, and he's like, "Wow, you're very tall. You're very talented. We need someone like you. Why don't we give you a scholarship?"
You try to accent.
Yeah, I know. Very tall. You know, you're very good. I'm like, "Oh, thank you. Scholarship. That's a really big move. Like that means I have to leave, Australia, and I have to pursue basketball." And it was a really good opportunity because as I mentioned before, I was going to a school called Kellyville High School, and I wasn't really benefiting as much as Ateneo would benefit me, So it was a great opportunity to like start in like a new life. Basically, I started a new life. This is 2013 when I was 15 or 16. I was still pretty young. It was a big move, and if I really wanted to pursue my basketball career and represent a school, represent someone who I really enjoy representing, basically. And I've improved so much. It got me to a point where I played college in University of the Philippines. I was never expecting that at all, like going to college and playing basketball for the team, we were planning to go back to Australia after that, after the high school. But I tried out for like 3 schools, and then UP was one of the schools that I got into, and they had music as well, music education. So that was
Oh.
my course. Music education was my course. So I
So
was like,
which means that's your that could be an easy decision for you, is that?
it was like either that school or nothing else, because I really see, even back then I even wanted to do music, even though I wanted to do basketball. Like, there was 2 things I wanted to pursue,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously I wanted to learn more music. Like, I could do engineering, I could do journalism, I could do all of that, but no, like, music is like still with me, even
Right.
though basketball was with me, you know. So if I didn't go to that school, I'd probably come back here and do both as well. But it was a good opportunity to study music and play basketball for that school, you know. So
Sounds cool. Any story you want to share with us when you were at the Philippines?
yeah, so obviously, like, I was born and raised here, and the only language I know is English, right? And I mean, like, I learned a bit of Filipino there and then from my parents or from other people, but I literally needed to learn the language when I was there. Like, if I wanted to talk to people, like taxi drivers or people who work at like a medical store. Like, one time I had a sore throat, and I needed. Do you know what medicine you take for sore throat?
I'm not sure how to say in English, to be honest. It's like some sort of candy thing. Like, I know the package, but I can't remember how to say it.
Syrup. I was looking for a syrup called Robitussin. So Robitussin is like, when you drink it, it like soothes your throat and stuff. So I was looking for Robitussin for in a chemist or like a medicine place. And then I go up to her like, "Excuse me, miss, do you have Robitussin?" And she's like, "Sorry, sir, what did you say?" She couldn't speak English to like like not really properly, but she didn't understand it too much. And I'm just like, "Yeah, Robitussin." She's like, "What? Sorry?" "Robitussin for a sore throat." And it's like, Robitussin.
Okay, that's Philippine.
Oh, that's Philippine. Yeah, the language. Robitussin.
That's quite
No,
similar to English, though.
no, it was. That's the thing, though. That wasn't English, but the accent. Her accent was different. That was like that was her way of pronouncing Robitussin. Yeah.
Right.
So like, I couldn't speak Tagalog back then. Like, it was my first year. I even gave directions to people who were on a motorbike. They were just like, "Excuse me," this was in Tagalog. "So where's the shopping center where's the nearest shopping center?" And I only know like 3 words, doon and or like one word actually, doon. It means there.
Doon.
Doon.
Learning new word now.
Doon. So he's like, "Excuse me, where's the shopping center?" And we have a thing in our culture when we point with our lips, like. So I only knew that culture, and then he's just like, "So where's the shopping center?" I'm like, "Doon." And they were just so confused. Their face is like, "Okay, cool, thanks." Like, they wouldn't speak English to me because I look Filipino, obviously.
Right.
Yeah,
That's funny. Story.
I feel like there's another story where I was playing basketball, and there was a new coach in the basketball system, and he didn't know my name, and I was just like, there was one time in training where we were doing some drills, we were doing some like teamwork drills, and then I did something wrong, and like, this was like our 10th training together, and he still didn't know my name, and he's just like, "Richard." I'm like, looked around, who's this? Like, "Richard, what are you doing? Get on the baseline." I'm just like, and then like my team is like, "Coach, his name is Ridge." The coach is like, "Doesn't matter."
Your coach sounds like American. Is he American?
Oh, he was American. Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
It was like He was a black coach. He was recruited from America, and yeah, he was our trainer when the UP was in revamp. His name was Coach Joe. If anyone's watching from UP, I'm pretty sure they would know. Coach Joe, yeah, it was funny. He called me Richard. My name is actually Ridge, so it's not Richard. And then everyone in my team started calling me Richard.
Okay, like, I'm gonna call you Richard from today, right, Richard?
Don't call me Richard, please. It reminds me of Coach.
All right. Yeah, that's a lot of you share was your basketball side of story, and can you tell us about your basketball journey? Like when you decide to sort of change your path from basketball to music.
Well, I didn't really change path. I kind of focused more on like how it's said like I wanted to do both basketball and music.
Yep.
But my priority was basketball because I had the good opportunity for basketball in the Philippines. If I wanted to do music, I would probably stay here in Australia because that would be my number one priority. But back then, my number one priority was basketball. So music has still been with me, as I said, but I felt like the transition from me doing music was because I produced a song called Ghost with Liana, and I was just, doing her a favor by producing one of her songs and uploaded it on all distribution services. And it was just like, we released a song together. It's just a collaboration, whatever. And I released it and it got like 100,000 in less than like 2 weeks or something. And it was doing really well. And for the first time, like I thought like, wow, I could be really doing this as, full time. Cause I thought I just made that song with my laptop. I didn't have any equipment. I just used FL Studio. And imagine if I actually put my 100% effort into the music. Where would I go? Like, where would I end up? What would I end up doing? So it was a lot of potential, and I didn't want that potential to go to waste. So that was in my head the whole 2017. Like, what if I really focus on music? What if like I come back to Australia or something and pursue my goal? I mean, my potential, So wasted potential is something that I don't want to live. I don't want to live with regret, thinking like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. That was basically how I thought of that transition. Like, yeah.
And also at the same time, we were talking about you got injured and the basketball.
Yeah. So basketball wasn't. Yeah. Basketball wasn't really in my favor. Like it was doing well. I was improving. Like I was improving a lot. Like my jump shots doing well. I can shoot 3-pointers. I can dribble now. Like it was really good. But every time there was an opportunity, it just didn't really present itself. Like it was like a sign. Like why isn't it working out for me? Like I was doing really well in like Team B. Team B is like the team underneath the UAAP team. I was doing well, and then like there was a competition where I was doing well, and I got injured and I got sick during the competition. And once it went to the semifinals and finals, I didn't get the opportunity to play because I didn't get the opportunity to show my coach what I could do, show my coach my potential because of injury, because of sickness. And semifinals and finals, they came second. We came second. I say they because I didn't really play semifinals and finals. Yep. Which was like heartbreaking for me because I really wanted to be a part of it, but obviously like I didn't show my talent because all these hardships and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just guessing it could be a sad and struggle time during the period for you, right? And then you have to make a tough decision. I'm not sure it was a tough decision or easy decision for you at the time, and then you have to decide to come back to Australia.
It was a tough decision. I had to convince my parents, like, because they, like, I literally weighed out the options, like what I was doing, top school in the Philippines, representing basketball, you know, that's a really good opportunity, but it's like, it's like a sacrifice. Basically, I'm sacrificing what I've really worked hard for into something new. It was a really tough decision, and it took more than like a year to kind of decide, because am I really willing to sacrifice all of that just to pursue my passion? Because if I really loved music, if I really loved my passion, I would do anything for it, right? Also, like, that also has to do with like sacrificing what you've already built, you know. And why don't you keep trying and doing that? Like, it's either keep trying, keep getting no results, or you will get results eventually, or focus on what you love doing, which I wanted to do that. I wanted to focus on what I love doing because it makes me happy. And this whole reason of being alive, this whole reason of living, is to find something that makes you happy.
Yeah, it sounds like really a cool, inspirational story. At least for me, I think it's gonna be a really good inspiration story for everyone who is watching this. Obviously, your music career is getting really good starting. I mean, you started a long time ago, but for when you come back to Australia, you had a lot of achievements that which we're gonna talk about later. So
yeah,
it's a really good inspiring story. And you mentioned about someone inspired you, like when you had this tough period.
At this tough time, I was literally looking up YouTube videos of like how people deal with struggle. It was hard because like I needed to look for someone for advice, so I looked for YouTube.
YouTube's good.
And then I stumbled upon Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, if everyone knows him.
Yep.
And his inspiring story of him trying to do like wrestling, WWE, and his dad wanted to do wanted him to do football, or I don't know, gridiron, I don't football, American football.
American football.
Yes, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, but yeah, and then his inspiring story kind of fueled my decision of like what I wanted to do, you know. Like it's so similar. Like if he could do it, then I could do it, you know. Like he just inspired me to kind of take action, and he took action, and like I feel like he got a bit worse, but either way, like it still inspired me to make the decision, you know.
Cool. I think it's really good decision that you made. You won't regret, I think.
I hope so.
Yes, you're doing great now. And then I think we can share about some story like when you were doing your DJ jobs, because the music side of you never stopped, same as your basketball, even though you're not playing I mean full-time professional basketball, but you're still doing like basketball training and you still play basketball same time, and you're doing your DJ job as well. Would you like to share some of your DJ story?
When I was in the Philippines, I was just doing DJ for like college parties. Like they were just like, "Oh, you DJ? Yeah, can you just DJ for us for like for a few pesos?" I was like, "Okay, cool, why not?" But I wasn't really DJing too much back in the Philippines, so it wasn't really. When I moved back to Australia, I started earning money from DJing as well. But yeah, there was it was a good kind of transition from, because I'm not really training at the moment when DJing. I think you're confused if like with the DJing part, like because I don't really like play basketball and DJing at the same time?
Oh no, I was saying you never fully give up basketball. You still have basketball
No,
at
I
the
didn't.
side.
I
Yeah, you still have basketball at the
no, no,
side, but at the same time, you're more focused on music now. But I know like you are the DJ, you're doing
yeah,
DJ job for living as well. So you might
I'm
have
doing.
some cool story to share with us
Yeah,
for your
yeah,
DJ
yeah,
jobs.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, cause like so obviously like I didn't stop basketball when I moved back here. I was playing like local competitions, just playing like every Thursday or every Sunday or something. But yeah, in the weekends I had DJ jobs from you first of all.
Yes, we do a lot
Wedding
of weddings.
we do a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
And another DJ job I do with AC events, and I do party DJing. And funny story about that party DJing. Before I got into that program, AC events wanted me to have a trial gig, and that trial gig was a 13-year-old birthday party.
13
And
years was funny. Okay, let's
13-year-old,
picture this bunch of kids. Okay, I'm
okay,
trying to
a
put
bunch of
some picture underneath some 13 years. Yay!
13-year-old kids. And what do you think 13-year-old kids would listen to? Like, what kind of
Um,
songs do you think kids would
well,
listen
when
to?
I was 13, we listened to basketball. Sorry, not basketball. Backstreet Boys,
Backstreet Boys? Like pop
Backstreet
music,
Boys,
right? Like,
pop,
like
yeah,
the
boys band, girls
back
band,
then,
Spicy
yeah,
Girl.
like Old Town Road was popping,
Yeah.
like, all that like pop stuff. So I kept that in mind. And then I asked the birthday celebrant, this little 13-year-old boy, he's like, what kind of music do you want me to play? And he's like, oh, let me list it down for you. And he was listing down all the Australian hip hop drill rappers and hip hop. It was like I didn't know too much of it. I was
Right.
so confused. Like, don't these like songs swear? Don't these like support like gang violence
And their
and stuff?
parents is like at the back and drinking.
Their parents is like just like, oh yeah, look at them have a good time. Yeah, just like
That's
and then
really
the
Australian accent, right?
yeah, good time. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, and
So
then
did you
like,
literally go to the parents and ask their permission?
I, no, I didn't. I felt bad, and I was playing a song where it was swearing so much,
Oh.
and then one of the moms went up to me and she was like, "Do you want a beer? Do you want like anything to drink? Do you want anything to eat?" I'm just like, I thought she was gonna tell me off. I thought she'd be like, "Can you stop playing that music?" But she offered me a drink. Like,
So in a way, she's like encouraging you. Oh, we want more.
he's like, "One more, like you're doing well. You're doing well." I'm like, "Am I? Am I?" I wasn't even transitioning. I couldn't transition because I didn't have a DJ deck at the time. I was
Right.
just literally fading with my mouse pad, fading from one song to another. I didn't think I was doing a good job, but I was playing music that they were requesting, and
As
I
long
was
as
giving
they are
them what they
happy, why
want.
not?
They were happy, like, that's all that matters.
So obviously, we've been talking about your DJ set, and of course, we want to know more about your music production and the music side of
Mhm.
you. So, can you share your story about your music producing side of you when you first started, and then what happened? Some story behind it.
Mhm. So music producing, my story is I found FL Studio, as I mentioned before, through my cousin.
Hmm.
He was a rapper and he was a producer. So I saw it, and then like he started making beats.
So
I
when you
just
were 13.
when I was 13 or something, yeah,
Yeah,
around there.
13. You see, all the 13 years old, they start to
Yeah, exactly.
interest you with
Yeah,
the rapping, all the
the rap.
swearing word and explicit language, and
But I've
all the
always
cool stuff.
Yeah, but I've always listened to music. I've always enjoyed it, and I've always wondered how do I make something like that. And then I discovered this music production software, and I'm just like, yes, I want to do something like that. And I was pretty bad at it at first. Like I was just looking up YouTube, learning how to do it myself. At that time, 2012 or 2013 was like the dubstep
Hmm.
era, like Skrillex if you really like Skrillex, I was a Skrillex fan. I was definitely a Skrillex fan. And I wanted to make dubstep like Skrillex. And uh, I still have music up online from 2010 and 2012, dubstep music. It's online. I haven't. I would say my name. I'm gonna say my name.
Okay, go for it. I heard that you have 3 different names before.
I had 3 different names. 3 different names. First name is the Mantua, THAMAN2A. So if you look that up on YouTube, you can hear my fails. You can hear my dubstep, my remixes, my Lion King remix, my Far East Movement techno remix. It's just so amateur, like, but I loved it. It was fun. Like at that time, it was like, oh, you can make music. That's crazy. It's good. I was showing my friends, like, no way, you made this. And it was some sort of like social acceptance for me. Like, oh, cool. They want to be my friend. I wanted to make friends with like, oh, look, I make music. Be my friend.
You are the cool kids who can make cool music.
Cool kid. And then after that, I kept making music. I changed my name to Repuze, Repuze. It was like the same thing. I was just making more original dubstep, original like house beats. It was not more remixes, more original stuff. And then this was like 2015, I think. And then 2016, 2017, I changed my name to Riddo, but the O is with a dash. It's like Ridfee or something like that. It was more of a DJ name, but I was also producing trap originals like SoundCloud. I don't think it's on SoundCloud anymore. I changed my Riddo fee to the smaller Riddo that you see now, and I wanted to be more serious. That Riddo with the dot, that's the serious. That's the when you know, like, okay, look, he's making music seriously. So yeah.
And you have your website, so people who are interested. This is Riddo's website right here.
Riddo.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna put there. Yeah,
it's under construction at the moment, so don't be very just look at it and then don't do anything.
But you do have your YouTube channel on, and
I have my YouTube,
Spotify,
Instagram. So okay, YouTube, just Riddo. Instagram, Riddo.x, Facebook Riddo. Just look up Riddo and you'll see my name.
That's right.
Somewhere. I don't use Twitter as much or at all. If I'm more active on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like usually Instagram is where I put my updates.
Cool. All the people around the world can follow you on that. We were talking about some funny story or some interesting story when you're doing your shows. Like to share with us.
My gosh. So let me tell you a story where I was performing at this place. I don't know if I should say the name, but I don't want to expose them.
I'll just say there's a famous venue
there's a famous venue in Sydney, Australia. I was performing. I was a front act for a girl, for a friend I know, and then she was releasing a single, and then she wanted me to perform at that venue as an opening act. While I was performing 6 songs, and I performed 5 of those songs. All of these songs are part of my album Blossom. So you can imagine like how hype the music is, or like how like beat hip hop it is. And this venue is like very intimate, very jazzy. And the owner stopped me at the 5th song and said, "Oh, let me ask you a question. Who do you represent? Why do you do this kind of music? Why don't you do the other kind of music?" And like, if you look around you, this room is not made for this kind of music and stuff like that. And I'm just like, bro, I'm performing right in the middle of my performance.
So
And
he's like a bar manager.
I think
Okay.
he's the owner or something.
Oh,
That's what I heard.
all right.
And it was like just right in front of the audience that I was performing, and he was just like so, you know,
So
like
rude.
rude.
I
And
think it's very rude.
I was like confused. I was really confused. Like naturally, you'd be angry, right? You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, get off my stage! I'm trying to perform." But me, I was just like, I was literally listening to him. It's like this creative space is not meant for this kind of music. One, I agree with him. Like, okay, I get you, but like, two, you can tell me after I perform.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't need to like interrupt me. You know, like that's Anyway, what they did, like the people who worked there, they offered like something on the house, like free drink or free food for compensation, like
Right.
apologize to me and stuff. So I thank them for the professionalism, and at the end of the day, it was just criticism. At the end of the day, people are going to do that, and it's how you handle it. And I handled it like I was confused. I was just like, okay, cool. Now my next song is going.
Yeah, but I think from what I see, there is good. I don't know, risk management. There.
It's it's also like you gotta have to show that you can handle things like that, like well, you know, like if you.
I think you handled it pretty well. Rather than to get up and start to fight with them or argue with them.
I don't like violence.
Ignore this. Ignore this is a good way, actually.
It's more of like address. Like I literally said to the audience, I'm just like, well, that happened. Thank you for your opinion. Now for my next song, like, I literally did not like. I just like, oh, cool, it happened. Now I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
I think the audience had a good time, right?
The audience were just like, we love his music. Don't worry about it. Yeah, like, thank you, audience. Like, I really appreciate it. You know, like if the audience loves it, then why are you complaining?
Right. I think you had a really good show.
I guess
pretty well.
Thank you. I guess it's because it's his venue, but he has a lot of pride or something. I don't know. I have a story at Recharge. Shout out to the organizer. Recharge was about last year, August, September. When was
August.
it?
12th of August.
It was my first time actually performing with equipment that I own called the RC505. It's a loop station, and it was my first time actually integrating that into my performance, and it was an amazing experience, especially like with the people who were there and people who participated. Like I was so nervous. Like it was the most nervous I've ever been because it's something new. It's something out of my comfort zone. And after I performed, it was hella crazy. Like with the encore song I did, the Meagerang song, it was on the spot. Like it was my first time doing something like that, and it was a great experience. Even though, because I performed at 12, and there was a lot of people like leaving, but there were people still there staying just to watch me, which felt really great for me because like they really stayed just to watch me perform. And if that's the case, if you stay, I'll give you a good performance. I'll give you the best performance I would ever possibly do. And some of the people I've talked to after the show were just like, wow, that's one of the best performances I've seen. And I'm just like, wow, thank you. Like,
it means a lot.
I really appreciate it, especially the fact that you had to wait for my performance. You know, like it's crazy.
I love the part how you how everyone asks you to encore to play one song, and then you had this great idea to record everyone's they give you some feedback, you ask some words from them, you record it and looped it and then improvise with it. That's really good.
That was my favorite part usually my favorite parts of the shows. I've only done that twice at the moment, but the first time I did that, I asked someone in the crowd, "Give me a word," and they're like, "Meagering." I'm just like, "Do you know meagering?"
I'm not sure what does meagering mean.
It's a type of noodles, type of 2-minute noodles.
Oh, that's the Indonesian dry noodles.
I don't know if it's Indonesian or anything, but it's dried noodles. Yeah, it's flavored dried noodles. It's the best. Oh my gosh, meagering. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And then I made a song out of it, like on the spot. It was so fun. And then that was like my favorite part. At the end of every song I did, not every song. At the end of my whole set, they were screaming encore, encore, encore. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do encore. I'm nervous. And then they're just like, oh, encore, encore. And I was just like bobbing my head. I'm just like, I looked at my loop station. I'm like, I could do something. Like, and then like I tried to put the microphone towards them and just like say it again. And they're like, oh, encore, encore. Recorded it, and then like backed away, and it was like still saying encore. And I looped it 3 times, and then made it sound like there was like millions of people saying encore.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. I only knew that you record them. I didn't know there's an additional trick to make it.
No, I literally, yeah. Like there was like 3 layers of people saying encore, and it sounded so much like 3 times the people that was saying encore. And then like, okay, cool. I turned off my microphone and then put a beat on top of it, and then everyone was like, "Hey!" It was fun. It was fun. I never thought in my entire performing life I would do that, but it was fun.
Wow. Cool.
First performance as well.
Very cool story you shared with us. And now let's talk about your songs. Based on where we have a limit of time, so how about tell us the your favorite 3 most favorite song of yours?
Oh, well, my favorite songs at the moment that's out called Freedom, Lone Wolf, and Happiness. Top 3 songs that I really take pride in because, yeah, I love them so much.
Cool. Can you talk about some story when the song making story, where you get inspiration from, and the story behind those songs? Let's starting with Freedom. How about that?
Freedom? Sure. Well, as you can tell by the lyrics of Freedom, it was just me basically coping with the breakup. A lot of people, which I find surprising, relates to the song, and they really enjoy the sound of it, and they really enjoy the message that I'm trying to give out to everyone. And I made this song because like it was on my head, it was on my mind the whole time making it. I was just like, let me make something happy. Let me move on from this heartbreak, all this depressing stuff. Let me just be happy for once. And what am I happy about? Oh, I'm happy about this freedom. I'm happy about not having to tell someone where I'm going every second. Not to tell.
I guess a lot of people who watching this have this similar feeling. Honestly, right? Yeah, everyone of us had this similar feeling, especially if the one your other half is not really supporting what you're doing. It can be annoying sometimes, right?
It can be annoying sometimes, but it also kind of reflects on what kind of relationship that was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a idea. Your next song can be called a mirror.
What?
Mirror. Freedom mirror. Reflection.
Oh, mirror. Sure. I'll make a song called Mirror.
Yeah, mirror. A mirror is a cool word. Yeah, keep talking. Sorry to interrupt.
No, all good. But yeah, do you want me to say about how I made Freedom?
Do you have other story of the freedom, or otherwise we'll just
not really.
the song?
It's more of like your interpretation, like what you feel, what freedom means to you.
So firstly, personally, when I first hear about it, when I first hearing the intro, I feel like, oh, this must be a happy song, must be like a sunshine on the beach or whatever. When I hear the lyrics, oh wait, what, break up or something? So
that was my goal. That was my goal.
Controversial is a
Contrast.
It's big contrast.
Yeah,
like more interesting, I think. Yeah.
The sound of it is happy, but the meaning of it is sad. Yeah. It's like a yin yang. Like there's a bad thing about it and there's a good thing about it. It just makes it like a really good balance.
Yeah, that's life. Like everything has both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, let's move to talk about freedom. We have to talk about its achievement. Share with us, please.
Yeah. Freedom. When I uploaded Freedom on Triple J Unearthed, 2 days after it was released, 2 weeks after I uploaded on Triple J Unearthed, it became number 2 overall charts in Triple J Unearthed, and it was really good. At the moment on Spotify right now, it has 200,000 plays on Spotify, which is like
wow,
which is good for me because like that I've only collaborated with my cousin Angel. She did the da 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 da, but yeah, that was more of a feature. But like this is like my whole production, me as a person, you know, releasing a song, and that's like 200,000. Like it's such a good feeling, you know. Like it's a great achievement for me.
What do you think, all the audience? Do you like it? I think you must sing along because we have seen the music video. So many people participated. It gone viral. At least on my Facebook, it's gone viral. All my friends sharing the same video. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I should integrate it with TikTok. I should make
you should do that. Why not? Yeah. TikTok is popular at the moment. What about the other 2 songs you want to share with us?
Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is one of the songs that I really love making because it had a different feel to it. It wasn't really too much rapping. It was more singing. I wouldn't be this song was really inspired by a person I know called Waterbar. That's his artist name, but his real name is Leslie. I saw him perform once, and he was performing using his originals, and it sounded so nice. It sounded so melodic. It sounded so chill, and I'm just like, wow, why can't I make music like that? So I tried making Lone Wolf basically, and I put some Riddo elements to it, put some electronic hip like sounds, sang and put like a falsetto in the chorus, just like just feeling it. The lyrics were inspired by not really inspired, but I kind of came up with the lyrics because like it felt like I was feeling something during that time of making that song. I felt like I was so independent. I felt like I was so enclosed of my own personal road, and I felt like I was just alone sometimes.
Right. Well, it's really a common feeling for solo musicians. I'm sure there's a lot of people feeling the same way if they are artists and then they're not in a band. Traditionally in a rock band you have your buddies with you, you know,
basically
you sound together, you drink together, you argue together, you fight together, and then you make sound again. You gig with your buddies, you gig with your mates and on the road and stuff, and then come back and make sound again. That's traditionally how the band like. But for nowadays, you know, the time has changed. Like a lot of people go solo. They have to face the truth that you have to focus on yourself and then be a lone wolf. In this case,
that's the thing, though, because I am capable of reaching out to people. I am capable of asking.
I know you're collaborating with a lot of people, which is a cool thing. Yeah.
sometimes I just feel like I could do it by myself. Sometimes I can. It's such a. I value a project more if I do it myself. Like
Yep.
it's so fulfilling
Okay,
if
so
it if myself.
I'm sure this lone wolf will have a lot of common feeling from a lot of other people, especially during this coronavirus situation. Like everyone is a lone wolf.
Everyone's a lone wolf now. Everyone knows how I feel. I'm joking now.
Jeez, right? Yeah. Listen to the song, guys. This is
Lone Wolf is such a good song.
Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And
Never feel alone.
what about
Feel
the what about the last one? Your favorite?
happiness.
Right.
Happiness. Happiness is basically a whole summary of my journey going to the Philippines and pursuing basketball. At the start of happiness, you hear a voice message, and if you're wondering who that was actually my best friend. His name is Joe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that boy. It wasn't really a voice message. It was a video message sent to me on my 18th birthday, which was my first birthday in the Philippines, away from family, away from friends, away from people who I hang out with in Australia. And it was such an emotional video because he was like the closest friend I've ever had, and he's just saying all this nice stuff or like funny stuff about me. And it basically depicts the image of me being in the Philippines and showing the audience like this is what I have to go through, like with this message. Like I don't get to see my best friend like all the time, and then the happiness, and then the song goes in after the recording, and it's just like telling you guys like what I feel about life. Why I decided to do all of this, what journey that I have gone through. It's like a summary basically. Like I could, if I wanted to tell you about my life in a song, happiness.
Nice.
This is like, what, tell me about your life. I'm just like, okay, here, listen to happiness.
I really feel this song touched me when I first heard it in my car. We were both on the way to the job. I feel like there's a deep friendship going on, especially in the beginning of the song. That's really irreplaceable and really invaluable. It's really nice feeling to have someone thinking of you, not in a romance way, but in who's your really good friend,
Yeah. He's a really good friend of mine. Like we met each other when we were like in year 5. I don't know how old we were, but we're basically childhood best friends, and he's Filipino as well. We share a lot of commonalities. Yeah, I still talk to him until today. I mean, we don't hang out too much because we're very bad at planning.
That's fine.
But
like for my case, I have one of my best friends who's in China. We don't see each other. Maybe we only see each other once a year, or sometimes once in 2 years, because we're not living in even the same country. And then we both really bad at communication.
Yeah.
we just don't like the way to send a WeChat message to each other, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even mention about email and letters. We're both very lazy. That's how we become friends.
Yeah.
But every time when we see each other, we feel like the last time we see each other just yesterday or something. Just bring us back to the
exactly, back to normal. Like no matter how far.
Works. Yeah. That's cool. And we talked so much about your music, and obviously there's many people who interested in you. Like, how did you make your music? About like, say, your gears, like from the first time when I hear your music, especially your newest 2 albums under Riddo, I feel it's really good production. It's really professional. It must be a lot of money behind it. It must be a really good guest, a good preamp, good mic. Must be really, you know what I'm saying. But tell us, share us. I think personally, I think this is one of the most inspiring thing.
Yeah, yeah, because like obviously, I look for quality in music, right? And like the quality of my music kind of replicates the music now, but the gear that I had when I was making those two albums was my laptop, this Akai MPK Mini, this one.
Oh, look at that! I
And
have the same one.
yeah, and, like it's a really useful tool,
Very
and a USB microphone. I have a YouTube video. I was telling you about my equipment and how I grew from it.
Okay, please check this link right now. It leads you to Riddo's YouTube channel.
YouTube video, yeah. Basically, I just know how to use FL Studio. Like it's the back of my hand. Like I know how the mixing works. I know how the plugins work. I know how the automations work. Blah blah blah. I know how to record things, and it's just hours and hours and hours of listening to the same song over and over again to make it sound right. With only using FL Studio, I didn't have a mixer. I didn't have a preamp. I didn't have any hardware. Everything was software. It was just like that's what's amazing about making
and then
music.
You didn't
now.
use too much like third-party expensive plugins.
No, I didn't use any.
So
all
just everything stock.
Stock EQ, stock compressor, stock.
I think FL Studio should take you as their representative. I mean, they should pay you. They should pay you for what you did. This guy Riddo here just made $1 million production from stock plugin from FL Studio with a USB mic. They should pay you for this.
It's all about being resourceful. It's all about what works for you and making it the best. If you don't have this, then you have this, and try to accomplish that by knowing what to do with this to get to that, if that made sense. But
so finally we come to this part. Obviously we have audience picking up music production, especially for this pandemic period, when people trying to say, oh fuck, finally I got some time to get hands on my dream. I want to start to make music. What would be your 10 most important advice for them when they try to start to make their own music, but to produce music?
10? I have a few, but I don't feel like it will reach 10. But
what about 5? 5 is good number.
I have just stick, because like if you want to determine what DAW, digital audio workstation, you want to use, stick to one, but learn the others as well. Because if you stick to one, make that your favorite DAW to use, because every DAW is basically the same. It's just everything is like, it's like going into a house. There's a kitchen, there's a bedroom, there's everything. But if you have a preferred DAW, stick to that and be good at that. And when you're making music, show other people around you, like your mom, your sister, show what kind of music you're making, and like get their advice. Even though it's bad, even though it's good, still get someone's advice, your friend, a teacher, your dentist or something. Like, hey, listen to my song, I made this in the bedroom. Like, get an opinion, because at the end of the day, you need that opinion for you to grow. You're gonna make bad music, but this is the third one. You're gonna make bad music because the first thing into getting good at something is to be bad at something. If you're not bad, if you're good straight away, then like, oh my gosh, what are you, Beethoven? Like, are you like, Yeah, something like that. Like you have to fail to succeed. So keep failing. I've failed so many times. Like I'm probably still failing now, but that's the only way to succeed, basically. So don't be discouraged that you're failing. Don't be discouraged that you're doing bad at something.
Right. I think for this part, personally, I feel like the sportsmanship from inside of you, give you a lot of support because you have been there. You've been a lot of hard shit trainings,
Yeah.
lose, win, lose. That's very common for basketball player, and you have to play in the team. Train hard and all this stuff give you a lot of foundation for build up your mentality to face this.
Exactly. You lose some games in the season. It's just like your goal is to win the championship, right? If you lose some games, keep your head up, win the next game. If you did a bad song, keep your head up and make a good song later. Basically the same.
Really good advice. What about next one? We have two more, right? Yeah.
Yeah, two more. If you're not sure, Google it. We live in a world where information is in the palm of our hands, basically. Like it's like, how do I automate this? How do I record vocals like Drake? How do I record the guitar? Like I literally learned from Google or from YouTube as well. Like if you want to learn little things, just little things, there's always something in the internet that would teach you how to do something. So don't use I didn't know as an excuse, because
So would you start to teach some of your production skills and technique in your YouTube channel?
In my YouTube channel, maybe. I feel like eventually in the road, because I also am learning myself. If I'm solid with what I know, like I'm like 80% solid of what I know, but if I want to give videos to teach people when I'm 100%. So probably once I graduate AIM, I'd probably do something like that. I would help producers who were like me, wanting to learn how to produce on FL.
Nice. Oh, well, talking about the music gears doesn't matter, but however, if you do have the money to buy some gears, go for it. What's your favorite three music gear for you personally?
Favorite three, in terms of producing?
Yeah, maybe everything, anything, producing, performing. Your favorite three gears you own. Yeah.
My number one favorite is obviously my Aussie 505.
Right. Show us if you can. If it's not too hard to show. Oh.
It's not plugged in right now, but yeah, this is the loop station that we were talking about, where like play, pause, record, and loop. It's the best piece of equipment I've owned as of today, and I just love it so much. Like it just on the go, just record something, bah bah bah, and then like I use it sometimes to like generate ideas, and then I'm just like beatboxing in my head, or just like playing around with it, and like, oh cool, I made a song. Now I'm gonna like record it. It's easier to like kind of get things out of your head, and it's looping. So Boss RC505. I have right now Motu M2. I don't know if you can see it. It's plugged in. That's how I'm like talking to you. I don't know if you can see it.
That's your
it's an audio interface. Yeah, it's really good. It's like the cheapest, most effective audio interface. So I was looking for a Scarlett. What was that? Scarlett 2i2 or something.
Focusrite, but, yeah, Scarlett 2i2, yeah.
But the Moto M2 is like so cool. It's black too. Sorry, I have something black.
Yeah, you have everything black.
Like my microphone. This is my third one. The Rode NT1.
It's nice looking. It's really nice looking.
Yeah, it's especially when everything else is black. But it's really good quality. I'm like using it right now. I use it for recording. It's not USB anymore. It's actually like I actually have an audio interface. So yeah, so there's my
Your top
favorite
three, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you want to describe your music philosophy, or you already covered it?
Not really. My music philosophy is more of what I think about music, right? Like how I approach it.
Yeah, that kind of.
Well, I feel like music is a very powerful tool. If used right or wrong, you can change the world, basically.
Wow,
So
it's like a atomic bomb. That is
it's not.
nuclear bomb.
It's very powerful. You know, people can change people's perspectives with just lyrics, and you know they can change the mood. You can change your emotion. You can. It's a really good communication device or like tool.
Right. That's why a lot of even religion try to use as to amplify it, like
Yeah,
churches and yeah.
exactly. You know, like it's such a big like hip hop is a good example as well. Hip hop raps or sings about the truth in this world, and it makes us all feel like we live in this kind of world where everything is true, everything is real. You know,
Cool.
there's some music where it makes you like change your emotions and stuff. So music is just it's a very powerful tool, and if you have hands on music or if you know how to use music well, you can be very powerful.
I'm personally really curious, since you have your family, your studies, your basketball, your relationship, and music. How could you manage your time so well?
So time management is actually one of my weaknesses, because you know sometimes I'm very lazy, sometimes I get unproductive, sometimes I'm very unmotivated. But if I write it down, as you can
Oh, at there.
like I have my schedule. If you write things down and don't collect all the things that you need to do in your head, if you write it down on a piece of paper and visualize what you need to do, what your agenda, what your goals, what you need to accomplish in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, if you can see that and you can see your road, it will really help so much.
It's like a mind map, right? You can't get to another city without a GPS or map.
Yeah, basically, you know, if you want to get to a destination, you need a road, and if you write down the road, it's like driving without a GPS, and then you end up in freaking Melbourne. Like, how did you get there? It's like, oh, I don't know. I just kept driving.
Right.
You know, like you have to make that road to your goal.
Everybody's in this coronavirus pandemic period.
Yeah.
How do you spend your time when you are so limited? Like you cannot do your shows. How do you utilize that time for yourself? And what would you be your advice for other artists who start? Yeah.
Don't make TikToks. I'm joking. I'm joking. Nah, you can make TikToks, whatever. But I think for me, if you're like taking music seriously and you have no opportunities to perform, do something productive. Do something that goes towards your music. Do something that you would want to grow more. Like for me, I am growing my business. I am growing how I want to be producing for not just for myself but for other people. I'm actually making services right now.
Cool.
So that's new. See, like I'm also grateful to be slowing down, and even though I'm not performing anymore, it gives me time to think of what I want to do. Um, like I also planning to go into Twitch as well. If you know what Twitch is like a live stream platform where gamers actually live stream their games and they talk to people in the chat. But for me, I can do that with music production. I make music with my screen showing, and then I can chat to people at the same time. So that's an idea. Basically, during this COVID, I've just been generating ideas for myself, generating how I should be improving myself, basically being productive. So if you're productive, good job for you. If you're not, it's fine. You know, everyone's going through a crisis. Doesn't matter. Like everyone's struggling. You do whatever you want in your time, but I just suggest you being.
Alright folks, I know we covered a lot today. That was the interview I did with Riddo in 2020. So next week I'll release the next part of the video, which is the interview I did with him in 2021. Let's find out what's new in Riddo's life in 2021 next week. Please check his music and all his social media links down below in my description, and also my social media links down below. Please subscribe, put a thumb up if you like our video, and click the bell. Please leave your opinion and your thoughts in the comment. What do you think the 5 tips for the indie musicians if you do want to contribute on this topic? Do you have any question to ask Riddo or me? You can also put in a comment. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.